Welcome back to the channel. Today what I'm going to be talking about is I am extremely tired. And I think it's more or less a mental type of tired, more or less than anything else, considering what I do for a living. So I suppose that's expected over time. The last few weeks been kind of rough at work, pretty much. You know, it's sad to constantly have to go on scenes where you have people killing each other. And the thing about it is, people are killing each other over ridiculous type things, you know, and it's even worse when the people that are killing each other are young people. And I hate the fact that I have to see a lot of that all the time. And that right there, it puts a lot of stress on the mind when you see somebody's young adult child, you know, dying, you know. And that right there is hard to describe. That's one part of police work that a lot of people don't really talk about. They talk about the bad and the crazy things that goes on, but they really never talk about the things that they have to see on a regular basis. And over my years, and I've got a lot of them, of doing the job, I've seen a lot of horrific things. I've seen a lot of death. I've seen babies pass away. I've seen people decide that life is too much for them, and they kill themselves. You know, I've seen people hang themselves, hanging in trees, hanging off doors. I've seen all kinds of horrific things doing this job. But the thing about it is that the only part about it is that most people sit up and talk about the car chases and things of that nature. They never really talk about the car chases that goes bad and the person hit and kill someone, run into something and kill themselves, throw themselves out of the vehicle, you know, and you see a person laying on the ground that the vehicle that ran over, stuff like that. So even with today's media, you know, you can only show so much of what's going on in the world, and it's really horrific. I mean, the one thing about this job is it has taken my delusion of the world being a great place, because there are so many bad people in the world. There are so many kids raising kids, and they're growing up without morals or sympathy for each other. And so they would kill each other without even thinking about it. It's just a horrible place to be in, you know, at times. You're always concerned about your own kids, hoping that, you know, you've instilled in them enough compassion for people that they would grow up to be more or less compassionate people to others. But and this is something that I never really talked about, because I don't really talk about my job. But it's like I said, you know, that type of thing within itself, it can really weigh on you over time. You know, when you see so much of the same old. Because believe it or not, when I go to work, I'm leaving my house. All of my stuff is here. I'm not going out there to protect my stuff. I'm going out there protecting your stuff. When you are going to work, I'm driving around your residence, your neighborhood. I'm looking out for your stuff, and it's not mine. I'm at the stores to make sure that even at these holidays, that someone don't, you know, mug you, rob you. I'm here during these holidays to make sure that someone don't run out of the gas station with cases of beer to go celebrate these free bills that they just stole. Um, I'm here for those people that finds the holidays uh, depressing, and they decide to take a load of pills to put themselves out of here, and we're there trying to help them, trying to get them medical help, trying to get them psychiatric type help, whatever it takes to try to help people. That's the reality of what I do for a living, is working for other people, dealing with the unscrupulous type people. Until you are dealing with people that don't care, you have no idea how evil people can be until you do this job right here. It's amazing at what people do out there in the real world. People just don't care about people anymore. And that's the reality of it. People just don't care about people. They don't care about what they do. They don't care about what you do. And the job itself gets harder and harder, because no matter how hard you work to try to do the right things, for people, it's always going to be construed as something negative. If you take a basket of apples and you put these apples on the table and you start sorting these apples out, as you take them out, you're going to have bad apples. But that doesn't mean the bunch of apples is bad. But what society has done is that they would associate one bad apple with the entire bunch. And that right there makes the job even more difficult. Or you have parents that don't want to be parents, and they don't want to take the responsibility of raising their kids. And when they see a police officer, they'll say, "Hey, if you keep being bad, I'm gonna have this police take you off to jail," and stuff like that. I hate when I hear that kind of stuff right there, especially when they're talking to kids, because it teaches kids we are the boogeyman. We are who you're supposed to be scared of. And as you grow up and you've got that instilled in you from a child, you're gonna have those negative feelings toward police officers, because you've been brought up like that. To the parent, it's trying to make them act like they're supposed to act. But if you were more of a parent, you wouldn't need to do things like that to get your child in check. You would be able to get them in check on your own. So that's one of my pet peeves. I hate that when they do that. My whole purpose is, like I told you before, when I go to work, I'm not going to work protecting nothing that's mine, because I just left what was mine. What I'm out there in the street is protecting what they pay me to protect, and that's your stuff, your lives. For instance, if you pull somebody over, you pull them over, they run a red light. They blatantly run the red light. Okay, and then they'll tell you need to go out there and commit some and concentrate on some real crime instead of watching them running a red light. But that same person, if someone ran that red light intentionally and killed someone that they love, then it changes, because it's a selfish thing now. It's a selfish thing. Now they are concerned about them and their family. But when you ran the light, I need to go find something of a greater magnitude to concentrate my efforts on. And that's people. People nowadays are totally absorbed in themselves. And that right there, for me, it weighs on you, over time. Over time. And the only way that I have to alleviate a lot of that stress is go to the gym, blow off the steam, because that's all the gym is for me. I can care less about 20-inch arms, 250-pound muscular body. I care less about all that when it comes down to lifting weights. Lifting weights for me is therapeutic. That's the whole purpose of me lifting weights. It's therapeutic. It releases the tension, it releases the stress. Not only do I have those stressors, I got everyday stressors in my own life too. Once I get off work, when I get off work, I have to de-stress. I have to de-stress myself just to interact with my own family because of the things that I've seen. A lot of the horrific things that I've seen at work, I can't come home and talk to my family about it because it's so horrific. It's like a freaking horror movie, that I've seen. And nobody else want to hear about that horror movie. And so you're trapped with this stuff in your own mind. And you're trying to release it. So a lot of times you have to go to church. At least me, that's what I feel like you have to do. You go to church, you talk to your church members or whatever. You get prayer. You do all these things just to keep moving for other people's stuff that they don't appreciate. So that's my life as a police officer for years. It's a thankless job, but somebody got to do it. Somebody got to do it no matter what they say. And you'll always hear the negative of it. You always hear, it's like I said, you're always having everybody put you in that that one bad apple and making the whole group of apples be bad when it's not even close to being that. That's the equivalent of, take this for instance. If you got somebody in your family and they are a thief, somebody in your family, they steal, or somebody in your family is a drug dealer. And then the thing about it is, even though you are not associated with that family member in that manner, if everybody were to say, well, since this family member of yours is a thief or a drug dealer, then that's what you are too. That's the equivalent of what people do to us. That's the equivalent. We are human too. We are human too. We have emotions. We have feelings. We care about people because in the reality, if we really didn't care about people, we wouldn't be doing the job. We wouldn't be investigating a lot of these murders and suicides and robberies. We would care less. But we do what we can to figure out who has harmed you and who has wronged you. That's what we do for a living. Protecting your rights. Protecting your livelihoods. That's what I do every day. It's not my stuff I'm going out there to protect. I just left it. Anyway, that's what I thought I'd talk to y'all about. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. And again, I'll be talking to you later.